Welcome back, friends. That's right, we are covering the Techmarine today because we have some new images that have just recently been released, and honestly, they are looking great. Not only that, but we're going to have to take a look at the data mined skill tree because, it's showing everything, and there's some very interesting things here, so let's go take a look. Alright, if you're unfamiliar with what a Techmarine even is, well, essentially it is the engineer for the Space Marines. And in Space Marine 2, he's going to be playing as both a support class, but also a crowd control class. Now, friends, this guy is tech infused and very, very good with, robotics and all that good stuff, and it is grafted onto his body. And we have these servo-assisted arms. Now, these arms could hold his weapons, but also attack the enemy. And we do know from different leaked out footage previously shown that this guy is going to be able to do finishers with those servo arms, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But then also, he's going to be able to lock down the different hordes coming your way with the Omniscion axe for his melee. Now, this is a big anti-armor type of axe. It's very large, and it will do sweeping attacks through those Tyranids, through those Thousand Suns, through those demons, whatever comes your way. But it will also be good for single target damage, and I cannot wait to be using this. If you just look at it over here in the imagery, it looks beautiful. But not only that, friends, we are going to be getting ourselves a little bit of a battle buddy, that is right. So we're going to have a turret that is a servitor going around and targeting on enemies auto. We're not going to have to, hold its hand on the battlefield. It's going to be actively helping us, taking out the foes and shooting them down so we are allowed to continue fighting and not be too worried, but have this guy following us around as a support. It's pretty nice. Think of like, R2-D2 on the battlefield except for with machine guns, so that's going to be pretty cool. And then before we get into the skill tree for the Techmarine, I wanted to quickly talk about, well, we obviously know the Techmarine is for the Loyalists, but there is going to be a Techmarine counterpart for the Chaos and the PvP. Now, this is going to be called the Warp Master. Sometimes it's known as a Forge Master, but most of the time it's a Warp Master. Now, this guy is essentially like 1-to-1, has the Servitor arms as well, and, he just has the chaotic powers of the Warp on his side. So we don't know which Legion he's going to be a part of, but because we already have like World Eaters, Death Guard, Thousand Suns in the game, Iron Warriors, Night Lords, to name a few, people are speculating that this might be, a son of the Emperor's children, those nasty noise marines. I wonder if that would be the case, actually. Slaanesh has nothing to do with this game so far, so if Slaanesh's forces come through, it could get a little kinky, but at the same time could be an interesting type of new Chaos Warrior to come through, so we'll see if that actually comes into play. Alright, so on to the actual skill tree for the Techmarine. So quick shout out to you, Spacemarine 277, for compiling all this, but as you can see over here, it is a vast skill tree and it's fully fleshed out, and without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, going from left to right, I think covering just only the most impressive things. First off, on the left side, we have Precision Enhancement. That will make the servo gun now lock onto enemies at a single target and fire a very powerful, precise shot. Or on its counter, you have the Plasma Enhancement, where the servo gun will fire exploding plasma projectiles at its enemies. I mean, that sounds badass already. And then for our core, I think the thing that stands out the most is probably going to be Methodical Destruction, because enemies damaged by equipment will take X more damage for X amount of more seconds. Obviously, we don't know what these are. These are going to be placeholders, but hopefully it is a significant amount. Then for our team category, I think the one that stands out the most is going to be the Battlefield Repairs. Now, this essentially makes the Techmarine a little bit of a medic because all squads are going to fully regenerate their armor and gain X amount of additional segments when using Medicae stims. So you stim up and you get more armor. That's pretty sweet. Then under gear, the thing that stands out for me is going to be the Augmented Tarantula. So the Tarantula Sentry Gun has its damage increased by X, and the ammo will also increase by X. So, more damage output over time, and we'll be able to fire for a longer period when it's out, so we'll run out of ammo less frequently. But if you're going for a clear strategy and you just wanted to target the big boys, the Servo Gun with the Strategic Gun Strike will go after only the Majoris level and higher enemies and deal X more damage to those types of targets. So if you combine that, though, with the Precision Enhancement, that will do single target lock-ons, that sounds like a pretty good buff, so I think that might be a new meta for this type of servo gun as it starts to come out. And then for our signature, I really like the Omnisci's Fury because the servo gun shots will set enemies on fire, Now, I don't know how much damage it will do, but anything that's DOT will help me kill more enemies faster, and I'm happy for that, so I'm probably going to lock this one in. Alright friends, that was a quick one, but I hope that you appreciate the update, and if you did, please like, subscribe, share, use those high points because it helps us out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.